Hello guys, welcome to another episode on the Videographer's Live, and I'm here with Tony Tech. Hi boss.
Yeah, Chief.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
So how far now? How everything? How's work?
Work's been good. We thank God.
So I was going through your page.
Okay.
I like snooping around actually, Sha. I was going through your page, so I noticed that wedding. Let's say you be king for wedding now.
Well, we know the city where we are in Imo State. It's a hospitality state,
Yeah.
and it's been known for a series of events, series of different kind of events. One of them are weddings, and surprisingly, I've derived passion in shooting weddings. And
So I do shoot wedding. I do shoot wedding also. But there's one major challenge. Timing. Timing has always been a major challenge. I think that should be a major challenge here in Nigeria. Timing. When bride will tell you that we'll start by 5. You now come out by that kind 5. And you now see that makeup self have not even started. So my boss, how are you able to handle all this?
well, definitely, we know that time is in every wedding we shoot, in every event is being based on time. And one thing about it is just that you have to, work with the time that you have and the time given to you, either by your client or by the event planner or whatever. But that is what I always put in force on in my checklist, which are the safe shots. You understand? And I go first of all seeing that I get detail of these safe shots, which are the B-rolls of the outfit, the B-rolls of the couple, the makeup section, the maybe the dress up section, and most especially the interviews. You understand? So now every wedding we shoot, every story we tell in a wedding, it takes time to unfold these shots to bring them out. So, but to not to be against time, it's best to start with getting your safe shots. You understand? And if you now eventually have an extra time, okay, you can now diversify in getting more of your shots.
So those safe shots are mostly the bills and stuff like the accessories, and then
Not just accessories, the interviews. You understand, the couples, probably the couples interviews is
family
most
members also, right?
if there are family members around, it's in to have them. The bride friend, the grooms, the best man, and the bride chief bridesmaid, and rest of all those things.
Sometimes you can even be in that kind of situation, and then the bridesmaid and those ones, they are not ready.
Yeah, well, I've happened to be in a wedding by which such an occasion, such a thing happened. The groom was done. The bride was not yet because of the makeup artist came quite very late, just an hour to the wedding. You understand? And the makeup took a whole lot of time. And at the end of the day, the bride finished her makeup and she was crying she was dressed up already and she was running to get into the car so that she could be in church because the husband is already in the altar waiting for her to come. So in most cases, we if we are not probably able to get those safe shots, we postpone them to
Probably after church.
After the couple has got wedded. You understand? But it's quite important you detail this information to your client on or before the event, or not before the event dates, because these are things that are bound to happen. You understand? I've seen wedding that has been planned, aligned very well, and it's things has to.
Even I was watching a show on YouTube. I even got to know that some people take their portraits after church.
After church.
Because sometimes, like Catholic can put wedding mass by 10.
8 o'clock.
Sometimes even 8.
8 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
And then if you just try, if you say let you try to like, how will I put it now? So let you try to like force it to this thing, you may end up not getting anything. So I think the best thing there, you can just talk to the client and tell them after church.
The thing is, no matter I've seen this happen over time and over time and over time. The regular 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, kind of going to church,
No.
client as bride and groom going to church and starting up makeup at probably around 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Sometimes and ending around probably 9 o'clock, leaving you just maybe and it's 30 minutes for you to take pictures and videos of a good storyline. Maybe you probably brought a story, an enticing storyline, how to prep up, do a little bit stuff like that, and at the end of the day everything goes down the hill. It's so disheartening, and it kills one's emotion and the energy and the vibe you comes out with, to do this, tell this story of this particular couple, the love story, and things won't be going the same way you planned. It's so painful, and I've watched and I've seen this happen over time. Yeah, it's a problem.
I think every
It's a
videographer,
problem.
every videographer,
Not just a videographer, but also the
photographer.
photographer. And it's in this cases, it's so alarming when the photographer, me as a videographer, when I'm not maybe in terms with the photographer, it's another problem too. Because yes, definitely, because it's a wedding that a photographer and a videographer has to get their content, and everybody's trying to get their safe shots before the time. And you can imagine trying to pose your client for a video, and the photographer is changing the same pose for his photos. It's
Now coming
it's
to
stressing.
that, I don't actually like putting photographer and videographer in two opposite distance. So I want to just divert from there now. How do you handle content creators after posing the clients? How do you handle content creators?
This is the era of this 2025, and whosoever that is not doing content creating in their wedding, who doesn't have a content creator on their wedding, is lagging behind. Is missing out probably. You understand? So content creators are it. Any client that has it is welcoming. Now, in those areas, most of the content creators, they probably use phones and all that. You understand? If eventually
They are moving up safe to this Osmo.
you understand Osmo 3. And one of the things is, whosoever whenever each of us is taking their shot, please let the opposite party not to get into each other's frame. It's proper. You understand? It's proper. In weddings, you understand, most especially when the photographer, the videographer, and the content creator, when they've not met before the event.
Yeah.
The event date, you understand? So things are bound. In fact, it's not even bound. Things are meant to go this way.
Yeah.
Because everybody has their different idea, everybody have their different poses, everybody have what they want to create out from their storyline.
I actually think a way to actually avert that problem is actually letting your photographer and videographer
meet,
and also the content creator.
Like, let them have a synergy, a WhatsApp group or something, a talk over, or at least they let them walk
so everybody
around the mood board, knows where to be, where not to be. I've had a case why when the bride and the groom were about to put in the ring, like, with this ring, I put this ring. A content creator have to take his phone, put into the in between my camera frame. At that moment, what was on my head was like,
it's still a gimbal.
Backhand, bro. Sorry to say, but it's in that moment now. In that moment, it has gone. It has gone. You can't tell the priest
it's
to
so frustrating to see a content creator like sometimes I can be shooting a video now, like I'm trying to get something, and the content creator can just come and meet me. Please excuse me, I want to get some. I'll not be like, what should I do today? What? And there was a content creator that did that to me. Then I looked at her. I looked at my camera. She was not like, sorry. I think she actually remembered that. You're not the
she was not supposed to get into the frame now. And this is content creators are good, you understand? I've worked with some that that they know
are quite polite.
They are quite polite. They know when to get into the frame and when not to get into the frame. You understand? They know how to maneuver around. You understand? They understand what a videographer or a cinematographer sees, from their own camera, and them understanding the range of your lenses. You understand? Not when events are going on, them trying to get in their shot, them
See,
getting into your frame. It's wrong.
see, I feel those content creators that actually understands what videographer does, and then the equipment they are using, and then what they want to actually get, they are also videographers.
Well,
Some
yes.
videographers actually live, because some people be like, this video it be like say it's in content too stressful. Some people actually like
Creating content than doing video.
than
You
doing
understand?
video.
Because
Yeah.
mostly, especially, I've gone to series of weddings, and they just prefer to get a content creator
Yeah.
than a videographer, because all they wanted just
You mean,
a trailer, a
content
highlight.
creation, the whole thing comes out almost immediately.
Immediately, you understand?
Almost
But
immediately
definitely,
as they are shooting
from
they are editing.
locations to locations,
So I feel that's why some clients prefer.
prefers,
That's
yeah,
why
but it still doesn't
yeah.
give them, it still doesn't take away the story, a best storyline, which was all probably being told by a professional
Videographer.
cinematographer or videographer,
Yeah.
per se. You understand? Content creators are content creators, and they are good at what they do. Yeah, some are good at what they do. Professional ones are good at what they do, and professional ones know the basic way to get into shot. Probably when a photographer, when a videographer and or cinematographer are shooting the same wedding.
Yeah.
You understand? So when these three persons manage to understand maybe their each angles, you understand? Angles, people change different camera angles at a particular point in time, at a particular as the event evolves, people change from different angles. So learning to not to get into someone's frame, or to always have this conscious mind, you understand? Conscious mind to to adapt to these changes are very, very important. I can remember about 6 years ago when I joined the industry new. I can understand sometimes I get into the frame because when I was a photographer, you understand, I get into the frame of some of the videographer, and they happen to touch me. As time goes on, I begin to understand, and I begin to give a little, understanding my space.
Yeah.
The space I have to give for giving the couple, you understand, giving the couple some rooms, giving the extra person who is taking the content also, and even giving the audience room to spectate the event, you understand, that is happening. So there are times to get closer, sometimes to stay away from.
I want to understand. Let's say now in this scenario whereby maybe you want to shoot a video, right?
Cool.
Now, there are some videographers that actually like wide lens, right?
Yeah.
You now got to the church, and as you got to the church, you carried your wide lens. Probably you carried 16 to 35.
Okay.
And then you got to the church, and then the father now told you that you see this thing that is there.
I should cross it.
Don't cross there. That is where you stop. At that point, what would you do?
Well, we've had several issues just like this, but especially we know them. We know them here in this town. We know such churches.
I did not call name.
I wouldn't call name. You understand? I don't call them. We know such of it, and rules are rules. You understand?
Yeah.
Every church has their doctrines. You understand? And you just have to walk with it. You understand? And at least try letting your client know if they happens to ask or stuff like that. You have to shoot from the point or from the angle which we are being assigned or being told to not to cross from. You understand? So it happens, and it happens. You don't have any choices. You understand? If you have changeable lenses, you can use, but if we are not disposed to have such lenses, maybe a zoom up lenses.
And that's like
you give your best. The thing is, just give your best with what you have.
Yeah.
Give your best shot with what lens you have at that particular time, at that particular scenario.
So I want to ask, if you are shooting a wedding, what is that lens that once it's wedding, you must always carry that range of lens?
Well, I have the two Go lenses which are cool. Just the 24 to 70 mm 2.8 f.8 and also the 35 mm f1.8. These lenses are
God.
They're heaven on earth.
See, there's no videographer that you not ask this question that will not tell you 35 mm or 24 to 70.
Definitely, this shot, they give you the crispy shots, they give you the pure the wide portrait kind of shots.
Yeah.
They give you the medium, the crop shots, and
you see, especially
the
that
B-rolls.
especially that 24 to
24
70,
70.
24 to 70 is just
It's a mad length.
yeah.
The mad length. You
It's just,
understand?
personally, I'd rather have a 24 to 70
Than
than have prime lenses
like 50 mm, 85
No,
mm,
no,
and
no,
rest
no,
of
no,
other
no,
shit.
no. I'd rather have the 24 to 70
Yeah.
and then probably have it at 5 safe.
F 2 point or 1 point. Is a killer.
They're okay.
Is it?
They're okay with
Just bring the vent. We'll murder it. Just bring
they're
the vent.
okay with it because
F
they're able to get
1.8.
wide.
Break the vent. We'll murder it.
All right, so
Cool.
I think with this we are done with today's episode on the Videographers Live. So I want to thank you for honoring our invitation to be on our program today. It's really been an honor to
It's my
go outside
pleasure.
and
It's my
talk
pleasure.
to you on videos and stuff. We also want to thank our audience who has always stayed tuned and subscribed and everything. So to those that are new here, please like and subscribe. The subscribe button is just there.
Subscribe.
It won't take you anything.
Subscribe.
Just subscribe. And I also want to thank the sponsors, Chinimo Media, who has sponsored this whole event. I recommend DAMIAN Visuals.
Can you check this out?
Thank you, bro.